We've got in the studio the Daisy Walk, and I have two guests in the studio. That is Itai Daisy Mutiniri, who is also, she's used to be in my seat, but today she's on my right, and
I know.
And as well, we have, and she is also the head of digital at Zim Papers as well. And we have Andrew Chinoperekwei, that's the programs director. Welcome, Andrew.
Thank you so much.
Welcome, Daisy. How does it feel to be welcomed?
Oh my goodness, it feels some kind of way. I'm used to being in your seat,
yes.
And look at me now.
Yes, that's life.
That's
but
life.
Cutting straight into the conversation, how important, perhaps, to break the ice, would be a clean environment?
Okay, let's talk about the Daisy Walk. First of all, it's called the Daisy Walk because I'm Itai Daisy Mutiniri, and it's a cleanup campaign that we came up with as people that are enthusiastic about environmental issues, and it came about because we wanted to complement the President, Idi Mnangagwa's, campaign of the National Clean Up Day, and also to support the UN SDGs 11, 12, 13 that talk of sustainable cities, substantially reducing waste generation by 2030 through recycling and through reuse. It also talks about doing what we're doing, conscientizing people on environmental issues to do with climate change. So that's where we come in. And I think you and I can agree to say people have been complacent when it comes to adhering to the National Cleanup Day, which happens every first Friday of the month from 8 a.m. to 10 a.m. So we are here to say, people, let's make sure we live in clean environments, safe environments, so we're encouraging people to come to the Daisy Walk tomorrow.
Oh, you've got something tomorrow.
Tomorrow.
Now, talk to us, of course, reflecting particularly on the first edition.
The first edition was a success. Oh my goodness. The response was overwhelming. There were so many people that came through, and we had our diamond sponsor was Nyaradzo, and organizations have been very supportive of what we're doing. Like in the second edition, our diamond sponsor is the Zimbabwe Consolidated Diamond Company. That's our diamond sponsor. We've got our golden sponsors, Bewildered Safaris, all the way from Kariba. We also have the Jam Tree. We've got repeat sponsors, Emma Gumeni. So it's really exciting. And I don't know, Andrew, you can just chip in and talk about...
I was going to come to you, Andrew. Yes.
Thank you so much. So different organizations have been coming in to support this initiative. Because here in Zimbabwe, we believe that it takes a village. And we've witnessed that through the support of different organizations, the support of different individuals. Because on the first edition, we had more than 60 people who came in to be part of this initiative. So we appreciate that support from different individuals and organizations. Yeah.
Now, Andrew, would you tell us the details of the second edition and also unpacking the theme, particularly on climate?
Okay, so the second edition is happening tomorrow, and we are so much excited about this initiative. The theme for this year is climate action, where we are promoting sustainability through collaboration. Like I said, we are all about the collaborative approach. So that's why the theme is saying we need to promote sustainable practices, be it waste management, be it environment management. What we are doing, we do it as a community. So that's why we are saying tomorrow, join us, be part of this initiative, and be part of a noble cause that is transforming the environment of Zimbabwe.
So tomorrow, where is this happening and at what time is it starting?
So the event is starting tomorrow at 7:30. We should be by the time...
7:30, of course, in the morning.
7:30 a.m., yes. Yeah. So we should be by the townhouse, the building that is opposite Joiner Seat when you are along Julius Nyerere. Yeah. Yes. So it's 7:30 up to 9:30 a.m. And the area that we are going to clean is from First Street, that is First and Jason Moyo. We go via up to Samora Machel, then we end at Harare Gardens.
Wow, wow. It's beautiful to see people coming together. We normally want to, put the blame on the authorities that you are not doing this, you are not doing that. But when we see people, especially heeding the call by the president to say, you know what, this is our nation together. Now, I'm coming to you, Daisy. I want to talk to about the implications and solutions, of course, of waste management.
Okay, looking at the implications, I think just looking at waste management, it's a global issue. It's not just an issue to do with us as a country. It affects us as a country, but it's also a global issue. But just zooming into Zimbabwe as a country, there are implications like economic implications.
Yes.
Who would want to come and invest in a country where, we're mismanaging waste? Who would want to come for tourism? The tourism sector
where you're
is
welcomed
also,
by letter.
Imagine. So, I mean, the environmental issues, the ecosystem is disturbed. The aquatic life, we have the issue of Lake Chivero that's got cyanobacteria as we speak, and which is something that's affecting the wildlife. Wildlife ingestion of plastics causes animals to die, and we've got health risks. I mean, if you look at dumpsters, some of these dumpsters that we're talking about, it's a breeding place for pests and pathogens, like there are mosquitoes, and then that then leads to diseases like malaria and dengue. So that's why we're coming here and saying we need to do something. We need to do something, raise awareness, come up with solutions, work with the relevant authorities to make sure that we live in a clean and safe environment.
How receptive have been the authorities in this initiative that this noble initiative that I would like to call?
Well, so far, so good, because they welcome us when we come through and say we want to hold a cleanup campaign, but more needs to be done. First of all, it takes an individual to be accountable, to say, what am I doing as a person to make sure that I'm living in a safe and clean environment? And I think it's also cultural. If we look at countries like Japan and Singapore, it's something that's implemented at in elementary schools and kindergarten level. So if we do that and maybe put it in the curriculum so that our kids grow up knowing how to keep the environment safe, that would be good. And we can't work ourselves. We need to work hand in glove with authorities. There's also the issue of the trucks that we were talking about, the refuse trucks.
The refuse trucks.
So if we are encouraging citizens to pick litter and put in dumpsters, and those dumpsters are not, collected, then we have a problem. So we need to work together with the relevant authorities to make sure.
Of course, a collaboration with the relevant authorities will be key. But what's your perspective, coming to you, Andrew, about people? Because the one that mess up the city is you and I.
Yeah.
Well, I don't want my environment, the car that I'm driving, I don't want any litter, so I just throw it out there. I've seen it happening quite a number of times, and I wonder why? What would you say to the public in terms of their responsibility in also fostering a very clean environment?
Thank you so much. So I'll start by saying we as a movement, we believe that we do not inherit this environment from our ancestors, but we rather borrowed it from our children. So what we are doing, we need to understand that whatever we do to the environment, it's going to affect the generations that are going to come. So this is essential to us as a community. So I'm coming from a perspective to say, when we are trying to solve these issues, what should we do? We need to embrace technology, because now there's issues to do with digital transformation. So there is need for private to public sector collaborations to say, how can we harness AI? What can we do to promote e-waste management so that we have sustainable practices and our environment is safer and healthier for every Zimbabwean citizen? And
also looking to maybe recycle the waste and convert it into something that is useful, that is your like, for example, what's obtaining in Pomona.
Yes,
the Geopomona project.
Yeah.
Now, Itai, I'm going to come to you. What's next? And of course, the long-term goal?
Okay, the initial plan was to do this annually, but because we've seen that there's more that needs to be done, we are going to be holding workshops, and we're working on hosting a conference towards the end of the year in September, and bring together people, organizations, and really come together and see what we can do to make sure that we live in a clean environment. Something else that we're working on that perhaps he hinted on is we're working on an app. We'll probably come and talk about it another time. But that app will address the issue that you were talking about, to say if you see someone littering, then you can actually report that. In real time, take a picture, report that, and then because we need stringent measures in Japan. You've got 19,000 as a fine for littering, so people don't litter. So we really need to work towards that.
Well, that's a beautiful initiative we're seeing from the Daisy Walk. They're going to be having their cleanup campaign tomorrow. That's at Townhouse. At what time, by the way?
7:30 a.m.
7:30. So do I need to come with a jacket, broom, and gloves?
We've got that. Refreshments, T-shirts, everything.
Absolutely. So make your way, 7:30, Townhouse. Let's make our environment and our CBD the cleanest there is in the world.
Konapo, ipapo, ipapo.